Hello, my name is Markiplier, and I am the controller. The director, because this is Bad End Theater. And Bad End Theater is a game. I was actually sold on the reviews of this game. Hang on, let me see this. It's overwhelmingly positive, but I was sold by a certain review. It was this one. Please let me give you more money. Oh my f***ing god. Please bleep me out. Also, like, add an art book. I need access to all of this art at any given time, ever. Anyway, so... blood, gore, violence, and strong language. Ooh, violence, murder, and death. Despite this dark subject matter, the overall tone of my story is meant to be lighthearted, not too graphic and never lingering too long in any particular misery. Basically, I'm the director of a play, and every play that I put on the stage has a bad end of my design. It's like a choose your own adventure, I think. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. Okay. Human, demon, human, demon, human, demon. Humans are scarier than demons any day. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? I'll play nice. Hostile? Play nice. You try to make friends with the demon, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. Okay. You found your very first bad ending. But don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. Nope. Oh, fine. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Play nice. You and the human doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad end at all. I should have written out this possibility. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to whatever you choose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see different outcomes. Go. Do you understand how to play? Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. Okay. Oh. I am... My mother once told me to do my homework, but I did not do it, so I got locked in the basement and had no food for about 2 weeks in a row, and I could not escape no matter what I tried to do. I pried at the door and tried to pick the lock and screamed for help, but no one came for me, and everything was getting dark, and I was just so tired, and I was so cold, and the darkness crept through the crack in my door to claim my soul and drag me kicking and screaming to the underworld. I'm a maiden. You're a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to Spooky Demon. Spooky Demon Overlord's castle. You were told that you were fated to be captured by the Overlord one day, because you were a beautiful young girl. Demon Overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You are in church, you pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You're impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just to hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find the demon. Just to, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Markiplier. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out this cool flannel on cloakbrand.com. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps and starts biting a lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Consumed maiden. All right. Well, I guess that is a bad end, but not nearly as dark and dreary as I would have hoped. Reset. What if I'm not polite? Doesn't scream at the sight of an underling. What if I'm not polite? You're a maiden. Baba-de-boo-boo. Okay, shout for a hero to come save you. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting a lot. Well, what if I'm the hero? You're the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You were told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at a nearby demon's overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden, but demon soldiers block your path. You can kill them to gain experience. Ah! Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all the way on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all. This is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the overlord. I'll ask if they let me in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the overlord's chambers. That was easy. The overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she ever really here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that has come here in forever, at least as she knows. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Well, fine. I'll murder everything in my path! Alright, let's kill them. Hi-ya! You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that's all cut them through! You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the overlord's chambers. The overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happens to her? You can see only one answer. The overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's probably she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the overlord with everything you've got. You've become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within the walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Oh, come on! She was dumb, and I know what happened to her. She did get devoured, but she was also really dumb. Anyway, what happens if I... Okay, hear me out here. What if I flee, but then try to cut through? Same thing. Okay, fine. Fine. What if I'm an underling? Ah! You're a demon underling, in service of the overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. It's your job to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place staring at nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the overlord to your friends. They agree that she is a kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's kill her! No, you're sick of the Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take that day off you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to save her. You consider your options. Well, I do know how this goes. Gobble! Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought, and feel quite proud about that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Put on a show? You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience's screams grow louder. Applause! You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out with one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. That's not so bad. Performer underling. But now, I'm starting to see what could happen. What happens if the underling is not hungry and I play as the maiden? Okay. Shwum. Introduce yourself. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. Tell him you're thinking of understanding your role if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon. The demon doesn't seem to really have been listening, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told to not leave their post. You wonder what cruel punishments awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed, and the Overlord turns to you, looking very interested. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. It turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out, and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Well, Lixian, read that for me!
Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough.
You ask the Overlord what you should do to be... Lixian, read this for me!
You ask the Overlord what you should do to be...
a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude. You just got here. I'm not gonna do it. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they may not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving humans any excuse to send a hero out after him. You realize that must be why you've never heard of a demon attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really, they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better now. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told what to expect humans to come after you. Oh, Lixian, please! You feel free. Honestly, you've always asked... Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, till you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. You're about halfway back to the village when you feel something is off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is the overlord all right? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you hadn't got much time left. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself, but the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke. A maiden saving the overlord? If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Well, that took a turn. Wait a minute. That's not the moral of this story. Hold on. Hold on. What happens if... Okay, yada yada yada. Let's not. Tell your friends about life is pretty good. The others not, but don't seem convinced. Still gonna rebel and sneak out. Okay, so you still sneak out. Interesting. Hear her out. Okay. Some kind of destiny, bottom line, ba-ba-da-ba. Overlord, disobey. Everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You even mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and says, and you say, that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what your deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, that sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead? Your friends question your loyalty to the cause. She's not so bad. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask them what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the overlord really has no place in our castle, you understand, right? The claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. It's a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Ah. Well, all right then. Okay, so I've seen all these perspectives. I really need to see the overlord now. You are the overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'd leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole overlord thing, if you're really quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to a higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into the room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? What if we grant him the day off? You tell them to take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the overlord sure is great. You awake to a knock at your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her that you had never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You really don't understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. All right, fine. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not all that she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kind of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent after you. That explains why the people in my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We're very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time and that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being helped capture here. The people in her village are a little exhausted at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden who was, but we know all this. This is all things we know. All right, let's find out what happened. I'm assuming it was some kind of overthrow. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. Until your door slams shut! Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but someone's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Okay, well, I'm burned. I'm burned then. Okay, but we're unlocking more and more options here as we go. Hang on, what happens if, let me see something. What, she's surprised. Oh, right, I made her nice. I forgot. Hear her out, wait. Okay. So you decide they seem to be getting along just fine. Time for your nap, and then this. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you were just joking, clarify that you're totally in to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you're worried that you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to do this. They figure they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on. And while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that they play the assassin. That you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this, but you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak into the Overlord's room. She's taking a nap. Like usual. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Time to die! You figure the cleanest way to do this would be to dig your claws into her throat, so you do just that. She wakes up, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you, before finally expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room to find your friends just waiting outside. They look pleased. Only now do you realize they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you, as you had betrayed your overlord. Interesting. So, I'm gonna go back to this. Hold on. Okay, let's kill. Chicken out. You don't want to kill her. You can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them that this is pretty fucked up and ask to be let out again. The Overlord stirs in her bed while your head is turned. The demons shut the door. You scramble into the Overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling. You can't believe those assholes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet. It doesn't take you long to realize they've set the room on fire. You hear the Overlord trying to get the door open to no avail. You're both trapped. Too afraid to move. You resign yourself to your fate. You and the Overlord burn together. Fascinating. Okay, so, right. Yeah, right? Uh-huh. We're gonna be maiden. We're gonna go into this. Introduce yourself. Shoom. Wait, reset. Okay, what happens if I shout for a hero? You yell, demons put off your sudden shouting. No, that's the same. Okay. So if I change this to dutiful and not diplomatic, what happens then? Hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon, too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you're never in any danger. The Overlord has walked past the hero and out into the hall. She's wailing. You can only guess what kind of horrible scene she's left for her. The Overlord tears the hero apart in retaliation. You watch silently, unable to scream. The Overlord, who you had just been getting along with so well, has killed another human right in front of you. It's clear now that you have been deceived by her sweet words. Demons are ruthless monsters after all. Well, I don't know about that because of the whole murdering your entire castle, friends, family. Fair is fair here. You somehow manage to slip past the Overlord and make it out of the blood-soaked castle. You never look back. Interesting. What happens if you do all this, but Underling is disloyal? Oh. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her. But the hero shakes his head. He says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right. You think, what kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? The demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the Overlord's room, all of your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognized from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised they were part of this evil plot. They seem so nice. The other demons come right in after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You're relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she is very Overlord-like in this moment. The group of demons hiss at each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those doing demons before you, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them. If you left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. If it exists, it must exist. It simply must. The Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord's claws pierce the underling's chest. They scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing while you continue to pray. But there's no saving any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are consumed by flames. Devout maiden. Well, I know it's called bad end theater, but I gotta think that there's some kind of a, good ending. So there's gotta be some differences with being the Overlord, right? So get back to work. Give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. Keep her here. Interesting. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you that she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. You take a step towards the maiden, and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. Well, Selfish Overlord NB. I've seen a few of those. There's got to be a way to get the end A. Maybe that's the good ending. Who knows? What happens if we've got a dutiful hero, but we're the Overlord, right? Give him day off. Let her stay. You notice the sounds of battle have started ringing through the castle halls. The maiden's getting nervous, but you reassure her that it's only your underlings roughhousing. No big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. But he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there, unsure of himself. He is covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There was no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? The hero starts babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing. But you are far beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You've had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there's nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You're alone. But like I said before, fair is fair. I've only gotten 13. 13 endings. There must be like 2 other options here. Oh, what happens if I go home? Obey her. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's best time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He asks what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is like right there? You explain everything that happened. The hero seems to think you're lying to him. He asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve. You're very upset that this so-called hero would treat you this way and leave and off. You return to the village alone. Everyone is very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero? They ask. You could not have possibly escaped from the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspired with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing that they are horrible creatures we know them to be. So they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatreds of things they've never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You're seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You are to be burned at the stake. Oh God, you don't want to die. You wonder, would it have been better to hide the truth? You don't like the thought of that. You've always lived honestly. So why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voices of your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so sorry. Well, that was sad. What happens if dutiful hero, possessive? Objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all. And if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. Leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Has she really been lying to you all along? You wonder if this is your punishment for questioning the divine plan. The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. She vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Captured maiden. Hey! It's the other side of the story. It's the other side of the same story. That's what AB is. Got it. 15. Okay. So, if I'm the hero, right? Right? Okay. Flee like a coward. Ask if they'll let me in. And here's the maiden. Wasn't there before. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Well, what's going on? Okay. Objects. You leave me no choice. The Overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You are helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible! You came all this way only to meet with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed the creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wishes for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Naive hero. Alright, what if I'm not a naive hero? What if I'm not? Flee! Let me in! Killer! You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering your hand to the maiden. She takes it, after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You are remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Ha! Now what if we do this? Hero enters the room. Hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn! Oh! No! Ow. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. You never could have imagined this would be the way that you would die. The rules are all swished around, but it feels right to you somehow. You're glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out all right for your new friend. Oh, still what I would say is a bad end. But what does this look like from the other side? Stay a while. Here comes... before you even know how to react, he makes his move and the maiden makes hers. She used her own body to shield you from the hero's blade. Why? Why has this happened? The maiden falls to the floor, lifeless, as the pool of blood beneath her grows. So does your rage. The hero has taken something precious from this world. You lose control, and the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all, and become ruler of the entire world. Well, now what does it look like from the hero? You launch forward to put an end to the evil Overlord, but your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes at you in vengeful rage. You parry, and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. You look at your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look at the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be a celebration. Well, that's sad. Okay, so I'm assuming I have all the combinations now. What happens if you get there, but the maiden decided to leave? Right? Oh, there she is! On your way back to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back towards the village. She couldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This may be the exact maiden you're looking to seek and to rescue. You approach her with curiosity. You ask what she's doing. We know this. Okay, she can't be trusted! You aren't sure you should listen to this maiden. You've been taught your whole life that demons are evil. You ask her if she's sure about all this, but she gets very upset that you think she would lie to you. She storms off before she could... You decide to return to the village, certain that she must have been kidnapped, the maiden you were sent to rescue. Glad that took care of itself. You take your time walking home, job well done today, you think to yourself. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around... Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to a wooden stake. The crowd is in a frenzy. Smoke begins to rise, and you stand idly by as flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. She seemed nice, though, you think. But evil comes in all forms, you reassure yourself. You decide to call it a day and return to your house, but you can't escape the sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Okay. Believe. You have no reason to assume she's been lying to you, even though her story is kind of hard to believe. You feel you should trust her. You tell her you're pretty surprised that everyone has been wrong about demons all along. The townspeople must be informed of this immediately. The two of you return to the village that had all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery, but the maiden quickly sets the record straight. There was nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers look to you for explanation. You politely inform them that it isn't your story to tell. You merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens or anything of the sort. The villagers turn to you again in disbelief. They aren't being subtle in how little they trust this maiden's story. You totally believe her, but to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally, just in case. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You're too busy thinking what a great and reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. The town's elder voice breaks you out of your own thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately and says they'll keep an eye on the maiden until you return. You figure that sounds all right, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? You aren't sure what's going on, but you get the feeling it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. But she suddenly takes off running. Oh, you thought the two of you were in this together. Her actions have convinced the crowd that she's obviously been a liar and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her down and her demon friends down already, but that doesn't sound like a very heroic task. You can't help but feel these people are wrong. It's up to you to catch her and talk to the demons in order to clear up this misunderstanding. You valiantly dash after the maiden towards the Overlord's castle. The air becomes dark and thick as you enter deep into the demon territory. Evil miasma? No, you realize it's just normal smoke. You see the maiden ahead, but she's stopped in her tracks. The Overlord's castle is engulfed in flames. You had only taken an eye off the maiden for a second, but she's already disappeared. You get closer to the castle, but the smoke is too thick. You think of turning back. The maiden might need your help, but you can barely see. She could be impossible to find. She could have been lying to you all along. Was this a trap? Would it be worth risking your life on that chance? Your legs feel heavy. No. Going in there would be suicide. You'll return to the villagers and tell them there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. God damn it! I'm getting closer, guys! Is there 4? Oh my god, there's 4 choices now. Oh no. Okay. There's 4 choices now. What if we're the maiden again? Introduce yourself. Obey her. Relieve. Very surprised the demons don't seem as malicious. Okay, so this is the other side of this. Yes. Okay. Ah, that's what happens here. Let's go ahead and get this one. You prove yourself without anyone's help. Make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. But as you get closer, you start to notice a tower of blood, and you die. Oh, no, and now you die. Ah, interesting. Okay. But now we're going to go back in, grab the hero and run. You boldly announce that you'll accompany the hero to prove yourself. You'd rather risk what's going on there than instead of staying in a village that doesn't trust you. No one seems to know how to react. You grab the hero by the wrist and take off before anyone stops you. But as you approach the castle, you notice something's gone terribly wrong. It appears to be on fire. Is the Overlord all right? You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment? Oh no. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? What happens if we're the underling, but the hero has no? Yes. After furiously a battle, you emerge from your room to find a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk. Hey, stop that! You lunge at him while he's busy driving the sword into a guard who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kinda down. You like that guard. You wish with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing his flesh from bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel his sword go through you, but there's no pain, only retribution. More of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken. Your army is won. You have earned your rest. Oh! Well, that's a good ending. What happens if you don't? Save yourself. You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that you flee the castle until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life, far away from any humans or demons, where you'll live peacefully, alone, in some deep, dark forest somewhere. Oh. Well, that's another ending, at least. At least I'm not dead. Okay, 24 or 41. I'm more than halfway down. I don't know what these question marks are, but I do know that there's a way to kind of combine these. I know, see, if I do, select a character to display their timeline. Huh. Ooh! Aha! Aha! That's helpful. Diplomatic, heroic. Got it. Okay, this is helpful. Diplomatic, heroic. Let's see this one. Oh, he didn't even hesitate. Oh, you've gone soft. How could you have let your guard down like that? How unfair. After all you've done to avoid this outcome, you can't outrun your destiny. The hero as always slays the overlord. You should never have trusted a human. You watch as the hero escorts the maiden out of your castle. Captured by a demon. At least she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. Yeah. Okay, I haven't even gotten the basic ones. Hungry. Okay. Alright, get back to work. You wake up to a huge commotion. Hero. Oh, rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. Hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You're unable to defeat him. With a decisive thwing, he stabs you and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly, and you wish you'd have been stronger. Maybe you never suited for the Overlord in the first place. Truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you're swallowed by the darkness. Alright, well that is something. Ah, right. Okay. Diplomatic, possessive, granting. Okay. Hey! Gobble her up. Wait, no. What was it? I forget. Diplomatic, okay. Disloyal. Oh no, it was bring to the castle. Yeah. Oh, aha. But there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You're unsure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. He approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. With the Overlord distracted, you figure this is as good a chance as any, and you launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are the new Overlord. Interesting. Okay, we're really getting him now. Okay, resolute. Okay, disloyal, antisocial, obedient. Okay, antisocial, obedient. Okay. Trusting. Okay, trusting. Okay. Let's go. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck! The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. Instead, they blame you for the whole thing. They cry that it was all your idea, and that they were just going along with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place. Be crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear her traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly, the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans. Then the room bursts in flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish he'd get that chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You were forced into this mess. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you decided with her. But the Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. Okay, but what if? What if? Traitor underling. Yeah, you get that. But what if? Okay, what if you're not resolute? Here we go. Same thing. Turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. Use the maiden for killing practice. Yeah, let's use the maiden for killing practice. This is just the way it has to be, you declare, before jumping her and clawing her guts out. Turns out you're already an expert at ending lives. Your friends call you a show-off. You go back to the castle to wash off the icky human blood. As you're finishing up, you hear the sounds of battle outside. A hero has come. Seeing the dead maiden must have made him pretty angry. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. You wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? Couldn't you tell this was a duel? You don't respond, you have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her and rip her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. You finish off the hero next. You can't let him revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory, but it doesn't make any difference. Anyone who managed to survive comes crawling out from their hiding places. You're the new ruler. You live in fear that they will one day betray you as you... Okay, that's A. But what about, there was another one. Captor. Captor? I don't even remember there being something about capture. Toss her in the dungeon. You and your friend seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty, save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about a maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot, you think. Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? The hero yells, "Prepare to face justice," and the other such cliche hero lines before driving a sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for... it's the same thing. But there is a captor factor. Okay, how do I get to play as the maiden thrown in jail? I have to leave. Yeah. Leave. Leave on your own? No, that just goes there. Okay, what about that? Aha! A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. So sad. Battle. If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what's happened. You continue to wait, but no one comes for you. Unable to escape, you rot in that cell. But I found a way for the flames not to burn! Yes. Okay. I know I could just chase these down, and there must be 4 secret endings. There must be. Resolute, trusting, obedient, antisocial. Obedient, antisocial. Okay. It must be a secret trait of hers that we have not seen yet. Interesting. I'm going to cut because it's taking longer than I thought. I'm going to cut, but I'm going to finish this in another recording, so. Mysteriously disappearing. I've always been here. Everything is the same. Don't worry why I'm out of breath. Okay, so where were we? We have 29 to 41 endings. I thought... Oh, right, we need to get another choice for you. So what could this mean? Okay. Antisocial, go home, obedient, so they do go home. So play here. Overlord, right. Okay, day off. Oh, what? You're awakened by one of your underlings. A hero wishes to speak with you. He inquires about a maiden. Huh? Still feeling sleep. Oh, I'm dying now. You gave this one a day off and this is how it repays you? You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this? Well, alright. I didn't expect that to happen. Oh, right. Hungry. Oops. What if we go... what do we need? Thank God this guide is here. Okay, what if, not Obian? Is that what it actually needs? Let them go. Spend more time with you, you just have to trust in that, you decide, okay. Well, that's the same. Okay, there's something that I'm missing here. Trusting, resolute, okay. That's what's needed. I need these other things, I think. Trusting, resolute, disloyal. This is what I need. I think I gotta let them stay, and then let them go. Because they'll be back. The maiden suddenly bursts into your room accompanied by a hero. She's trying to frantically communicate something to you, but you're still half asleep. They tell you a group of demons is after your life. You still don't grasp the urgency of the situation. One of your underling barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. Okay, I've seen this. Everyone's shouting over. Okay. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone. Okay. Still aren't sure you have the strength to back it up. Okay. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. Okay. So you die. Burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Oh. I'll forgive them. You release the underling, killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Oh. Overlord's true end. True end? True ending? Oh, what? No, stop. What are you doing? Don't do this to me. Before you're taken back to the reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True. Okay, I feel called out here. And I don't like that. True end, you say to yourself. What was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you were. This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting on? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you were shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that in my theater. My lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave it to you, dear guest. Well, ominous floating crying head. I have something to say about that. You have no idea how boneheaded I can be. Alright, well, as ominous as that was... Puppet Master. Puppet Master, you say? Well. The true end, you say? Well, what about the other one? That's probably just the other side of the equation here. Stay a while. Listen. Let them go. Take retribution. You pierce their chest with your claws. They scream. The hero backs away. He is wise not to interfere. They stop moving, but you keep digging and twisting your claws into them. Doesn't make you feel any better. The underling's corpse burns along with you and the two humans. Okay, I just needed to get that other ending because... Spiteful Overlord ending. Not the true ending, of course. But I needed to get that other one because now I have a choice to be merciful here. I'm wondering. There's something else here. Trusting, diplomatic. What if you're not resolute? Let's try that. Oh, I didn't change the minions settings. Oh, this is new anyway. You've almost fallen asleep when the maiden and the hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. Underling barges in. Well, this seems the same. Hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. Huh. Well, that seemed like the same. Why did that seem to... No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself, though, could you? I wonder what'll happen when you collect them all. Will you give in to despair, or what? Also, I don't know why that was different. Why was that different? Okay, disloyal, trusting, go home, and is obedient, right? Okay. Right, okay, because that would change her and the hero's interaction. Go home! Sounds of battle. Heroes cutting your way through Well, this is interesting. Vile demons, I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all. You don't really know what he's got him about, but you engage regardless. The girl's got to defend her people. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health, waiting for the others to make a move when one of your underlings appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious. You kind of appreciate it, but can't they see this was duel? They don't respond. You sense murderous intent. Oh, your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. Well, a letter flutters down from beyond the curtains. You found lost letter number 4. I'm sorry? My love, do you remember when we first met? I just finished one of my scripts, one I was quite proud of, in fact. As I read it aloud, you happened to pass by. What a terrible ending, you said. Why should all those poor fools have to die? You were so rude. You wouldn't accept any of my justifications, and yet you managed to convince me. It really would have been better if everyone could live in harmony, however unrealistic that felt. I look back fondly on that day, even now. I wonder if somewhere you're thinking of it too. Forever yours, Tragedy. Tragedy and comedy! Unus and honest! Tragedy comedy. Obviously the sad crying face is the tragedy mask without the comedy mask. Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Merciful. Resolute. Trusting to believe. No! God damn it. Here we go. Hiya! Tell her to quit yelling. Let's kill the Overlord. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you. Or maybe she'd rather see you suffer instead. Looking around, you've just gone from one dead end to another. The maiden is crying, the hero is silent. You all burn together. Okay, well, I've seen that. Underling's true end. I see. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 3. I'm really going backwards on this. I've been feeling a little depressed lately. Many patrons have come to my theater, but none so far have stayed to experience every tale in its entirety. The critics haven't exactly been kind, but I understand. My stories aren't exactly crowd pleasers. Despite that, you always listen to the very end. I'm grateful for that. Hope to see you again soon. Forever yours, Tragedy. Well, boo-hoo! Maybe you should write happier stories then! Okay, dutiful, heroic. Okay, anti-soci, staying, dutiful, hero-ro. Okay, dutiful, hero-ro, anti-soci. Okay. Hello. Okay, bye-bye. He's covered in demon blood. Oh, God, yeah, that's right, he's dutiful. You are frightened by the sight of him and run away. You return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. I did something wrong. Oh, I stay with the Overlord. That's what I did wrong. Okay. Hi? No, I'm staying. Okay. Do nothing. Here's blade pieces. I thought I got this one. Overlord is slain. Hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then, you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Oh, complacent maiden. Well, you know, there are worse fates. I've seen them. That's not so bad. Okay, what is this? Okay, leave, trusting, return, disloyal, and... Oh. Hi. Bye. Leave on your own. Okay. I see. Assassination plot. Immediately notice you overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. You cry out, but the demons ignore your protests. You can't believe you escaped possibly being thrown in a cell block in your village, only to be tossed in this awful place. This is terrible. Who's going to keep those demons from harming the Overlord? You hope she can fend for herself? You sure can't. You hear the sounds of battle echoing through the halls outside. Did the hero follow you? If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what happened. You continue to wait, but no one comes for you. Unable to escape, you rot in that cell. Okay, I already got that one. Disloyal but not captor. That's what's different. Bye! Bye! Goodbye! Okay. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you in that moment. You regret ever trusted. I die instantly! I'm dead now! Okay, so I gotta get disloyal. You can get here a couple different ways. Trusting, resolute, disloyal, merciful. That's the only real difference here. I see. Okay, the Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but doesn't make any difference. You will all burn together. Maiden's true end. I see. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 2. It can't end like this. I'll keep collecting bad endings for now. My love, I finally fulfilled a childhood dream of mine. Yeah, that's right. I opened up my very own theater. You'd be so proud if you could only see it. I know how much it would have meant to you to be at my side on opening night. I'm sorry for going ahead without you, but I thought if my theater could become world famous, then maybe you just might hear of it, wherever you are. Forever yours. Tragedy. Boo-hoo! Is whatever. Okay, there's a lot of different things here. Okay, so I gotta be dutiful and then apologize. Okay, here we go. Shoom. Hiya! Not wanting to look like you're a crazy person chasing after or anything, you nonchalantly walk back to town. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? Oh. She's bound to a wooden... I thought she went back to the castle. Isn't that what I saw? It kind of stopped and, what if you're not obedient? Okay, here we go. Hiya! Hiya! Okay, you can't sense anything sinister happening. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. What's going on? She explains that she came here on her own and was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. The Overlord moves past you and out the door. To see her army in lifeless, bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. I'm sorry. You hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really try, but the Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart, and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think you probably deserved this. Alright, so there's this other way. Anti-soci. What if you're... I think it's like... not polite. Okay, but obedient. Got it. Not resolute. Let's try that. Hiya! Ah! I believe you. When you reach the gates, you ask the demons if they've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. She trusts them, and in return they lock her up. So demons are truly evil beings after all. You demand they take you to her, but they do not let you pass. You should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you and rush the castle alone. You're the only one who can save the maiden now. What the fuck are you doing, killing all my soldiers? The Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Ow! Hey! What the hell? Okay, but what if... resolute, not captor. Same deal. Spy group of suspicious demons. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. Maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. A demon, I know this. Yada yada, everyone's shouting. Okay, gonna kill, right, let's go. Okay, you'll all burn together. Wow. Hero's true end. Okay, but that wasn't all the endings. There's one more ending here that I have not. Oh, there's an offshoot ending here. So you're not obedient. You're disloyal. You're merciful. Right, okay. Same deal. Diplomatic! Step up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable, but they seem to trust you. I've done this. What's going on? We leave, casually exit the castle. Ah, here we go. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off? Aha. I think I've... Wait. There's something going on here. What if he's not disloyal? No, that's kind of a requirement. Unless you go the other... Nah, he's disloyal in either one of them. How do you get that one? Okay, let me think about this. The maiden overhears the underlings plot to kill the Overlord and goes back to warn her. What is this? What if not possessive? Try to make conversation with the maiden, but she's pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? She suddenly stops in her track and you turn to ask what the deal is. Oh. Wait, this is different though. I can't skip it. You can't help but feel relieved you got the maiden out when you did, but she suddenly takes off towards the castle. Smoke is so thick. What is she thinking? I have done that. Everyone's everything! Nope. Okay, so by process of elimination, I know that I have to get to this point to be able to get this ending. There's not really a choice here, so it must be something else that exists. It has to have you be disloyal. That's a must. You could be a tyrant, you could be antisocial, you could be you could not be possessive. That's the thing. You couldn't be possessive, but you could be merciful, which seems to be the requirement for the true ending of most things. Oh, wait, what if it's just, like, not merciful? Isn't that it? Isn't that the only thing? Really? She thrusts her claws, that's it. That is it. That was the only difference. It's just, like, the not merciful version. Two of you, all consumed by flames. That's it. That's the last one. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtains. You found lost letter number 1. I got the letters. My love, it just isn't fair at all, is it? For them to force us apart like this. It's unreasonable, cruel. I had to find an outlet for this grief somehow. So I decided to write, and I'll keep writing till the day you find me once more. And then, maybe we could write a story together. I'm waiting for that day. Forever yours, Tragedy. So there's something else. It can't end like this. You want to answer the maiden's prayers. You've decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the paths you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? If there's nothing you could do by acting from within their story, maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. Oh, what? Oh, God. Underling on fire? What? Oh. You boldly insert yourself into the story and use your incredible power to warp everyone to safety. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are you, but why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have all been staring at you. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. You guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? Hi, hello everybody, my name is Markiplier. Subscribe to me on youtube.com/Markiplier. Hi. You smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be her god? Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe a lot of a bit. Maybe it's not a bit at all. No, you're merely the player. If there was any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing gods games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now, enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How passé. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto this stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me tragedy if you'd like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, do you? You are alone in the darkness with me, tragedy. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed your time in my theater. Though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. I'm sick of all the bad. Show me some new! I don't mind the bad. Yeah, it's new, please. Are you trying to say my bad endings have gone out of style? You have some nerve. You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending. It's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God. I didn't think I was ready for this, but okay. If you're sitting on the bench, you gotta be ready to play. The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. I defend. You try closing off your heart to protect yourself, but it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Wait, let me try that again. Huh. It doesn't make you... Perhaps you don't understand just how class you are. Behold, my beautifully tragic tales. Doesn't seem them all again make your heart ache. You've witnessed all 41 of my painstakingly crafted endings. You must be as much of a masochist as me. I commend your thoroughness. Surely these characters have a special place in your heart. They're still suffering backstage. You know, it's a shame they couldn't make it here, to the end of the world. That's right. You came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Oh. Summon, call friend. Oh, you find the hero in his home, hunched over a sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? You explain that no, you're not a demon. You're... How can you explain it in a way that the hero can understand? Instead, you ask what he's sewing. Know this, I craft all my own hero gear. You sense his pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. I am naked, yes. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He is overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I could make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please, tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. Oh, I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived! We really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us! Murderer! I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated! We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Ow. Ow. Summon? You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church. Perfect timing! She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are, in a sense. You've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon? I was hoping I would meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of this story after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so you ask what it is that she's really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for the maiden becomes suddenly clear. You offer to change your fate. If there's something I can do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden! Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through.
Then this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate.
Ow! Well, let's keep going then. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're pretty weird-looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding into their story right now. You tell the underling that you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the underling's friends who had bullied them into an assassination plot only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. A true end for the underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way for that to even work. Can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The underling will not fight alongside you. Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle.
The underling! You must be desperate to call on such an unreliable ally.
If I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over?
Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate.
I'm having too much fun with it. Ow! Alright, how about this? Hiya! You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see that the fire contained the torches on the wall. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that no, you're not here to serve her. It's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans, like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to get some backstory. I have no interest of waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone, to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well. I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see. So this is tragedy. Ah, you've brought the Overlord! I don't stand a chance now. You've prevented me from attaining peace for so long. Prepare to die?
I hope you're prepared to face your death as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate.
Rawr, I guess.
Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combinations of behavior will show up in the path to your true ending? Show me!
Alright, so the true ending becomes clear. Your reign of tower and terror ends here, tragedy! I refuse to give in! The hero uses willpower to overcome tragedy. The tragedy is reeling. Okay, how about some hope? Boom! Our true endings do exist, they simply must. The maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. How about a little mischief? How about a little mischief? The underling tries to evade tragedy through mischievous means. You're so much fun. Would you like? Oh, whoops. Well, hang on. Yeah, you're right. Tenacity. Knock me down and I'll just come back stronger. The underling uses their tenacity to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. All right, how about ambition? I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses her ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim toward your best possible futures. You unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. Hiya! Oh.
You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. A tragic end for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, hero. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. Thank you, overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry. I'll be making my exit shortly. Firstly, thank you most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder.
No.
Well, well, I did my best. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily.
Oh, I was gonna say no as in you should have a happy ending.
Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's a true ending.
Oh. But I meant that as in I was assuming that would lead to me saying something like, you deserve a better ending.
Lost the cold. Take your seats, everyone. Welcome to bed and theater. When the curtains close, you'll come away stronger, or maybe you'll break. Not my fault you sought this pain. Sharing my misery for all eternity. Labyrinth of suffering. Wandering all alone, searching for my lost love, stumbled toward bed and theater. Though its blaze were cold, I still felt this warmth from them. Isn't that strange? Can't help thinking of your face. For all your tragedies, all right, happy endings. Undo all our suffering. I've missed you, my darling.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! Something's missing. I knew it. I love that song, by the way. It's very good. ...
Oh, you're still here. The curtain has closed for the final time. I'm shutting down my theater. There are no more tragedies left for me to tell, after all.
That's tragedy, it's story.
Me? You'd like to know why I started this theater? Because I'm obsessed with bad endings, of course. You generally raise your fingers to the cracks in my mask. Piece by piece, it falls apart in your hands, revealing...
I should have warned you. This might affect what you think of my stories. You can't help but compare my face to the maiden's. I'm not her, but it's not like she isn't me, necessarily. That's how it is with fiction. Would you like to hear... not another ending, but the truth? Tell me. Alright, one last story. You may already know this one, but it doesn't have a happy ending. First, I'll set the stage. In this world, there are no such things as demons, or even heroes, really. There was a girl eager to set out to fulfill some sort of destiny. That part was true. She met someone. Another girl. A running theme, isn't it? The maiden and the overlord. The two were inseparable, and for a time, everything was just wonderful. But their families, the communities they came from, neither could approve of their relationship. That's the reality for many. This pair was no different. Despite their best efforts, the world was intent on pulling them apart. We used to like the types of stories where love conquers all. Where the strength of your love will pull you through any hardship and everything is okay in the end. I lost her. And then I started this theater. Huh? Oh. I was hoping to find you. It's you. It's been so long. I thought I'd never see you again. You always think of the worst endings. I wasn't about to give up just because things got difficult. Why didn't you reveal yourself sooner? I feel like such a fool. I could say the same to you. You knew I could never resist giving your stories a happy ending. So of course I would be drawn to a place like this. Yes, but I didn't think it would actually work. Sometimes everything does turn out okay in the end. Thank you for reminding me of that. I love you. I love you too. Oh. Now, truly, everyone can live happily ever after. Tragedies end.
That's really sweet. That's really sweet.
God, that's...
Dull. And then the whole theater engulfs in flames and they all burn together.
No, that was great. I like that a lot. That was very good. I can see why people were really into this game. I mean, I was really into it. I played the whole damn thing. Very fun. I mean, I'm a sucker for choose your own adventures, that kind of stuff, and this is like an innovative twist on it, and oh man, just very fun. Hope you guys didn't mind me indulging myself with the voices at the end there. I thought that was wonderful. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Support this developer. A link to this game is in the description below. Play it for yourself. I mean, I think I got all the endings, but definitely show some love to them. Play the game. Experience it for yourself. Maybe there's secrets that I don't even know. There's probably some kind of combination in there I didn't get to. 4 choices for 4 people. What was that? A lot of choices. Maybe there's a secret one in there. Who knows? And not every story has a happy ending. Not every story has a bad ending, but it was a good ending after all in here. So thank you. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!